Welcome to the future.
Hey guys, it's Mike Garrick back with more Warrior 5. The top 5% of people are willing to think, eat, and move with a purpose. We're going to go through the 3 master principles that you must master in order to get shredded. Like a muscle bulging accountant, we're going to crunch some numbers. Now we're going to be going through these master principles to get shredded, but there is one caveat, and it's this. Even though diet is 60 to 80% of your results, you don't want to use diet alone without a lifting or a cardio plan in place. So I'm assuming that you have a lifting and cardio plan in place. This is in addition to that. And here's why. If you diet alone, you're going to be a smaller version of your old self. Let me repeat that. If you use diet alone, you're going to be a smaller version of your old self. We don't want that. We want transformation. Now, I've got to warn you, these master principles are going to remove all doubt and place the accountability smack back into your lap. All right, now that we've taken care of that, let's get down to business. I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, holy shit, that looks daunting. But let me assure you that it's not. And if you master these principles, it's going to put you on a whole new level. So let's go through these. Number 1, calories. You've heard it before, calories in, calories out. So you need to know how to figure your calories. Now you can get online and there's all kinds of calculators online to figure these out, but I'm going to show you this easy method. So if you memorize a few numbers, you'll be able to figure out your calories anywhere. Number 2, we're going to figure out how to go through and calculate your macros, your protein, carbs, and fats. So once you figure out whether you're going to be in a deficit or a surplus, then you need to know what types of calories to be taking in. This is huge. This is a massive step. Then the final step, step 3, or the third principle I should say, is tracking. This is where all accountability comes in. So once you know what to do, then you have to track and hold yourself accountable. Number 1, figuring your calories. You can use your body weight or you can use what's called your lean muscle mass. Your lean muscle mass is everything but the fat. So in order to get this, you're going to need to get a body fat test. We're not going to go through that. You can check out my video on how to do that. So I'm going to show you both sets of numbers here so that you can kind of see the difference. Now, if you just use your body weight as long as you're within normal weight ranges, these two numbers are going to be fairly close. So I just calculated this out. We're going to use my numbers for this example. So my lean muscle mass, I have 155 pounds of lean muscle mass. My actual body weight is about 170 pounds. So if I take these numbers and then we're going to multiply them by these factors. Now this is the important part. This is the part you're going to want to memorize. So if you took either one of these numbers and you multiplied it by 10, you're going to get what's called your BMR. And your BMR is the number of calories a day that you do not want to go below. If you use your lean muscle mass, that's the most accurate. If you use your body weight, it actually gives you a little bit of buffer. And you can see over here that the difference between these two numbers is about 200 calories. So it gives you a pretty good little buffer there. But your lean muscle mass times 10 gives you your BMR. That's your basal metabolic rate. That's how many calories you need to basically survive, which is the number you don't want to go below. The reason for that is as you start to approach that number in calories, your body says, you're basically starving me to death. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into your lean muscle mass and I'm going to eat your muscle and lower your metabolism. This is what anorexics do, is they keep dropping their calories and don't eat it all. And their body goes, oh, okay, well, I'm going to eat myself then. And when you eat yourself, your metabolism lowers because you're eating all your muscle. And the muscles actually is what is going to raise your metabolism and actually burn calories. Okay, so we have our BMR, we have our weight loss zone, we have our maintenance zone, and we have our growth zone. So if you come back over here to these numbers, if you took either your lean muscle mass or your body weight and times it by 11, 12, or 13, notice how there's actually 3 numbers in each one of these categories. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, or 19. What these are is these are categories of use the first number if you're sedentary, if you don't exercise at all. I hope that's none of you guys watching this video. The next number, the middle number, is if you exercise moderately, 1 to 3 times a week. That's bare minimum. 3 times a week is basically bare minimum. And then the last number is if you're very active. Basically, you're exercising 4 to 7 days a week. So it just gives you a range is all that does. Okay, let me simplify master principle number 1 for you. you're going to either take your body weight or your lean muscle mass, and you're going to times it by this activity factor. Remember, 10 is your BMR, you don't go below. You times it by 11, 12, or 13, that's for weight loss. You times it by 14, 15, or 16, that's to maintain. 17, 18, or 19 is growth. And obviously you can go higher than that, but this seems to be the magic number. Now I've circled these ones in red here, and I want to show you this for a reason. Notice that here's my maintenance is 2720. Now notice that weight loss, this number, okay, when I times my body weight by 13, which is the higher number, I got 2210, which is about 500 calories higher than my maintenance. And if you look at this one down here, I times my body weight by the higher number, and it's about 500 calories above your maintenance. So notice that 500 calories is the magic number. It's the magic number to lose weight and the magic number to gain weight. So if you're trying to lose weight, and when I say weight, I mean fat. If you're trying to lose fat or gain muscle, then you want to be either 500 calories in the deficit or you want to be 500 calories in the surplus. Does that make sense? I hope that does. It's fairly simple. This is just how you get to this number. And it's a sliding scale depending on your activity level. Now, master principle number 2, macros. Once you follow this, and you follow it for a week or two, you're going to notice some big time results. But after a while, you're going to plateau off, and here's the reason. Because you need to know your calories, but then once you take it to the next level, you need to know the types of calories that you're eating. This is essential for maintaining muscle mass. So what you do is you take your number. In this case, I'm going to take the 2210, which is the weight loss. So this is 500 calorie deficit, because remember we said the 500 is the magic number. So that's 500 calories below my maintenance calories. So this is my daily calories. So of these calories, what you do is you go ahead and times it by what's called a macro split. Now, there's a bunch of different types of macro splits out there. In this case, we're going to go through what's called a 30, 50, 20. Now, ultimately, most people call it a 50, 30, 20 because they put the carbs first. I like to put the proteins first because that's how I memorize it. But anyway, my point being is that of these calories, 30% of your calories are going to come from protein, 50% are going to come from carbohydrates, and 20% are going to come from fats. Now, this is a 50, 30, 20. Now, you can do a traditional bodybuilding split, which is 30% protein, 60% carbs, and 10% fats. Or one of the most advanced ways to cut fat is called a 40, 40, 20. So 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat. But that's even more advanced than this one is. So this is a great place to start out. So how do you do that? You take this number right here, your calories, and you times it by 30%, right? 0.30. And of that, you get 663 calories are going to come from protein, 1,105 are going to come from carbohydrates, and 442 are going to come from fat. You follow me so far? Then what you do is you divide it by these numbers and you'll get the actual grams. Now, I hope you guys know this, but if you don't, each gram of protein and carbs equals 4 calories. And each gram of fat equals 9 calories. So all you do is you divide the calories by this number and you get the actual grams. So I should be eating 166 grams of protein, 276 grams of carbohydrates, and 49 grams of fat. You follow me so far? Finally, master principle number 3, tracking. So once you know your calories, then you know what types of calories that you need to eat. Now you need to track it and actually hold yourself accountable. So I like the app Lose It on my iPhone. I've been using it for half of a decade. I absolutely love it. But you can use whichever one works best for you. There's a lot of different websites, Livestrong, Calorie King. There's a bunch of them out there. Just find one that works good for you and track your stuff. Become very accountable for what you're taking in. Because if you know this, but you don't actually track it, it doesn't really do you any good. And so all you do is you keep going through this cycle, because as you drop, you usually want to recalculate this every 10 pounds or so. Let's say 5 to 10 pounds. Because these numbers are going to change, right? Because this is going off of your lean muscle mass. Hopefully you're putting on lean muscle mass if you're trying to build. And if you're actually cutting fat, if you're trying to get shredded, then you got to be careful, because you don't want this number to be dropping. If this number is dropping, it means you're either not lifting heavy enough, you're not eating enough calories, or you're not involved in a weightlifting program. I know this seems complicated, you guys, but it's not. And once you master these 3 principles, you'll have the tools to stay lean the rest of your life. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. and join the top 5%. I'm Mike Garrick, helping you think, eat, and move with a purpose.